Hello y'all, this is Tron Zero, and today I'm doing another Transformers review about the Mad Goddess Quintessa. Now, Quintessa made her first appearance in Transformers The Last Night in Transformers 5, and it all started at the beginning when Optimus was floating in space. It was right after Age of Extinction left off, when Optimus flew into space to search for his creators. And during the opening of Transformers The Last Night, they show Optimus floating in space, and he sort of is in a sleep, unconscious state. He's just floating. And at some point during the beginning, he crash lands on Cybertron. He managed to get to his home world, and when he crash lands, that's when he awakens. That's when he wakes up. And he was saying, what has happened to my home? What has happened to my world? Because his world was in really bad shape, Cybertron. And as he was walking, he was hearing a voice that was calling him. And she was saying, it was Quintessa, and she was saying, "Come, Prime, come meet your creator." And Optimus was like, "You are my creator." And she was like, "Yes, I am Quintessa, the Prime of life." So that's something that she's a Prime. And as she was calling him, Optimus was really getting mad because he was wondering, what have you done to my home? That's what he was saying. And then he was saying that he attacked her. He was saying, "I will kill you." And then little do you know, he fell into her trap. And it was these chains that came up out the ground, and they grabbed both his arms. And also one of her guardians, one of her henchmen grabbed him, which was Infernagus. He grabbed Optimus by the head, and she was saying, "How dare you attack your god? Your war doomed Cybertron." That's what she said, And Optimus was like, "No, Megatron started the war." And she says, You're responsible, you're fool." And then she hit him. She slapped him. And she appeared to have power, for some reason, because when she hit him, Optimus' face was changed color. He changed, and it was like this redness on his face. It was like this red splash on his face, and it was from Quintessa, my fault. It was from her hitting him. And that's when he starts to fall under her control, and then she was saying that, "I made you, you are my perfect creation." And she was saying that you're going to help me fix Cybertron, or the rest of Transformers dies forever. And it looked like he agreed to it, but he was just looking. He wasn't himself. He was starting to act differently, And during the rest of the parts of the movie, they show him chained up, and they show her torturing him. She kept on using her magic to, and the more and more she was doing that, he was falling deeply under her control, And that's when he's starting to change. He was starting to transform into Nemesis Prime. And she was telling him that the four Guardian Knights, the Cybertronian Knights, served her. That was her. That they was her knights, and her staff was stolen from her, and it was taken from her by her four Guardian Knights. It was by her Guardian Knights, and they hid it from her. She said they hid it. They hid my staff. She was saying her staff was taken from her, and she said that she was betrayed by her Guardian Knights, the Knights of Cybertron, and that's something I have to say. I really like her character. I felt like she was a great villain. She appeared to be very powerful, You know, she's also supposed to be like kind of like a god. She's like a god. She's basically a goddess, a mad goddess, you know. And she has powers. She has powers, you know. And yeah, she's a goddess and she has powers. And she referred to herself as the prime of life, you know what I mean? And then she was saying, I made you. You are mine. You know what I mean? And that's when he transformed into Nemesis Prime. She was the one responsible for making Optimus turn evil, you know, and transforms to Last Night. And his eyes changed, you know. He ended up having purple eyes. Now, also, Quintessa has the ability to change her appearance. She also has the ability to make herself human, you know. And this was demonstrated at the end of Transformers The Last Night, when it ended, when it left off as a huge cliffhanger. She took the form of a woman. She was a human, you know, so she can make herself look human. And one thing I could say about Quintessa is she's smaller than Optimus Prime. She's sort of like the same size as Cogman, because Cogman and the Quintessa are like basically the same size as human beings. She's like the sort of like the same size. But her design is so unique. She seems like she has long, like these little like dreads or something. Like she has like a unique look to her, a different look. And I just think that the technology that they use to make Quintessa is just incredible. You know, how her eyes look, and then when she smirks, you know, I felt like they did an amazing job with her. You know, I like her design, you know, and she was very powerful, very wise, very intelligent, and she was dangerous, you know. And they refer to her as the goddess. She's a goddess, you know. She's a god of the Transformers. She's one of the gods, you know. And I think she feared Unicron because she wanted to use her staff to destroy Unicron. Because she explained to Prime, you know, as she was torturing Prime, you know, she explained that, you know, the Earth that you know has another name. And she says Unicron. And then Optimus was like, Unicron? Cybertron's ancient enemy? And yeah, and then that's what she said. She revealed that Earth is Unicron, you know what I mean? You know, and that shows how ancient she is and how old she is, because she knows that Earth was Unicron. She knew that. And you know, Cybertron and Unicron are brothers, and they were also close, but they became ancient. They became enemies, and they are ancient enemies. So, you know, that's something, you know. And for some reason, I think she was using her powers to pull Cybertron closer to Earth. She was bringing Cybertron into Earth atmosphere because Cybertron was in very bad shape, and she wanted to get her staff back that was taken from her, and it was hitting on Earth. And the only person that I think what she feared was one of the humans. Wasn't just Kate Yeager. It was I think it was Vivian. I think that was her name, because she was a great descendant of Merlin, you know, and it was in her blood. She was the only one that could use the staff because it's in her DNA, you know. And that's something, because the staff belonged to her, you know. That was her staff, and it was taken from her. So she wanted it back to destroy planet Earth to restore Cybertron back to its youth, you know, to restore it back to normal, you know what I mean? And one thing I could say about her is that she's very powerful, you know what I mean, and she's very dangerous. And that shows she had demonstrated when she hit Optimus. She knocked him down easily. She used her power. She even hit him, and that's when he's starting to change. That's when he's starting to fall under her mind control. And she was like, I made you, you know what I mean? And And she was saying, you going to fix Cybertron, you know, because she blamed Optimus for the Cybertron being in the condition it was, you know. You know what I mean? She was like, you destroyed your world. And Optimus was like, no, Megatron started the war, you know. And then she kept blaming him, you know. So it was something. You know, she was very furious. She has you know, and that shows how strong she is. She's very powerful. And Optimus was even having a difficult time fighting her, you know what I mean? It was like him and Bumblebee, they had to team up to stop her. And even when they stopped her, when they thought she was destroyed, she wasn't. She was still alive. So that goes to show how powerful and dangerous Quintessa is. She's not an ordinary Transformer. She's like a god. She's actually a goddess, you know. And she has the ability to change her appearance. I think she has the ability to teleport. And she has the ability to control other Transformers, you know, to make them evil. Like, she can make any Autobot evil, you know. And she made Optimus, she made him into Nemesis Prime. And he was very powerful and dangerous. And he was under her command, you know. And she was using Optimus to get her staff back, you know. You know what I mean? You know, so that's something, you know. I really love her design, and I just love the concept of Quintessa, you know. I felt like she was a really great villain in Transformers The Last Night. One thing I can say about the Transformers movies is that they always give us a new villain. It's not always the same villain every time. That's one thing I could say, you know. In Transformers 1, we got Megatron. Transformers 2, we got The Fallen, was a new villain. Transformers 3, it was Sentinel Prime. Transformers 4, it was Lockdown and Galvatron, you know. And in Transformers, 5, we got Quintessa, you know what I mean? You know, and, you know, that's something that, you know, and I think that she was also controlling Megatron. I got a feeling she was the reason why Megatron became Megatron. She was the reason why Megatron looked the way he did. She gave him that night look that her Cybertronian knights had, you know. She gave him that night look, and she gave him new weaponry, and she made him stronger, you know. Because if you look at Megatron's face in Transformers The Last Night, it has that same red splash on his face that Optimus had on him when he was starting to become Nemesis Prime. You know, it's the same mark. And when she controlled Optimus, when he fell more deeply under her control, her power, he had purple eyes, and he was Nemesis Prime. He referred to himself as Nemesis Prime. And his color changed, you know. He had more of a red, you know. He looked evil. He was vicious, you know. And what turned him back is when Bumblebee's voice came back, because his voice sounded familiar, and that caused him to break out of Quintessa's spell, you know, her power. And that's something about her, because she has the ability to make herself human. I even like the actress that did the voice of her. She did an amazing job, you know. And I just think they did an amazing job with how she looks, you know, because her look is so different, and her design is so unique, and her concept art is awesome too. And I just feel like Transformers The Last Night is definitely underrated. And I just love the characters that they gave us, especially Quintessa. And Quintessa's still alive, and she's still trying to find a way to stop Unicron, you know. And she's on the verge of her next plan, you know. She's trying to, you know. So that goes to show me that, you know, maybe not only she can control Transformers, she probably can also control humans, you know. She can make them evil, you know. And that shows how vicious she is, you know. She's power hungry, and she's evil, and she's very powerful and very dangerous. And she's vicious, and she has stopped at nothing to destroy planet Earth, you know, and to restore Cybertron back to normal, you know. And I want to know from my subscribers, did you like the Quintessa character? My personal opinion, I really liked her character.